Ahoy, crypto pirates. Thank you for joining me. KNTX, I almost said Captain KNTX, which I've been so proudly deemed by Papa B since RG3 has been promoted to Admiral, it seems. But I will let others call me that, and I will defer to swab hand, deckhand, whatever you want to call me. But I am glad to be joining you guys today. Yes, you are correct. The captain was wrong. He misspoke. I will not be here on Tuesday. It is not today that I will not be here. So I am joined here by some regulars to
Hello.
the show. How are you guys doing?
Good, yourself?
Very well, Captain Swab Hand.
Love it. Knipples works fine, Motley says. I agree. Knipples works fine. Yes, Crypto Coffee, we are in Theta. So those of you who would kindly go to Theta rather than staying here on the other channels, that would be great. We would just like to bolster our numbers there. We just got a few more to go before we hit the partner status with them. So we'd like to get a few more followers there. So how are you gentlemen doing on this fine morning?
Good. Price is looking good. I was just looking at the Nomics 7-day prediction, and it's got us at 1.6 cent, which is good.
I'm enjoying the euphoria and the love that is now spread around the Hex community. When the price is up, no one can do any wrong. We're all right, brothers and sisters. I love it, and to boot, it's shitcoin season as well. So the rotten oranges that you had sitting in your ice box for like the last 3 years have somehow given you more dry powder to buy Hex. They've turned into some kind of soup that you can use for medical purposes or something. It's amazing, these new gifts.
All right, I like it. So I am not going to be here Tuesday. I just want to throw this out here now, guys. I have to take my daughter to the Children's Hospital in Denver on Tuesday morning. So we are going to, hey, if you want the Theta link, then go to my Twitter. Actually, I'll throw it in here real quick. I don't think the tubes likes when we post that in their chat for another platform. I'm trying to be very careful how I word that in case the algorithm picks it up. But hold on one second here, guys. Let's bring in Mr. Barely Crafty.
Sorry for being late, guys.
So crafty.
Hey, what's up?
I feel like I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, I know. It's KNTX's fault.
It is.
Inviting guests.
I wish. So I've done a little bit of legwork, but really, Crypto King, I got to give him credit. He's the one that's been the Dana White of the Discourse Syndicate. He's reaching out to all these other communities, and he's saying, hey, they're interested. Email them and figure out a time. And he's made it really easy. I email them and say, hey, what day works for you? And we've just been booking them, knocking them down left and right. So this man right here is the hardest working Hexakin in the community right now, and I will put him up against even Hexo right now, because this guy is I wouldn't say trolling, because that's what I do, but this guy is in and out of every community right now trying to get some eyeballs and attention on it. And so yesterday we were on the Wild West Crypto Show, and we didn't realize they were only going to give us 5 minutes. And so we get on there and they're like, okay, you got 5 minutes to tell us who you are and what you do. And we're like, okay. And Coffee just recently did his elevator pitch. So his video on giving...
It was 8 minutes though.
Yeah,
it was 8 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, it's not in a long elevator.
Yeah. So he was already prepared for this, since he had just prepared a video, and he's been doing this for so long. So he started talking, and after the fact, he goes, hey man, sorry to just block all the time. I said, dude, you're on a roll. No way. There's no reason for me to get in the middle of the way you were explaining it. It was perfect.
I'm telling you, he's a born evangelist. He's a very skilled young man, and I think that he's a great spokesperson for the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping we do more collaborations with him in the future because he is a powerhouse here in the space. Smart guy. Real quick to learn just about anything. I'd like to do more with Motley also, but he's got to get his schedule right, man. This military nonsense has just got to end.
Mm-hmm.
He has
Speaking
to set
of
his priorities right?
That's right. Get your priorities right, Motley.
Yeah. To tag on the kudos that you had for Crypto King, keep it in mind that he's also in my time zone over here, which is not conducive to really getting through to people. So he's making an extra effort. Plus, he's got that military contractor thing going on as well. So I don't know what they're feeding him where he is over here, but whatever it is, I want some because I don't have enough energy to even stay awake for you guys. I have to take a dad nap before I watch your show.
He's taking more Viagra than you. More blue pills than you.
Damn.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, Crypto King, since you've earned a spot on our show, by all means, he says don't miss today's Hexo show unboxing a box that he sent him. So I hope there's not dog turds in there, because I remember when he first got his PO box, everyone kept throwing out jokes like, I'm gonna mail you a box of dog turds. So, and he hasn't. At least if that's what he's received, he hasn't told anybody about it yet.
If the parcel is from Kyle, I would be worried.
This is from the Crypto Sparbook. Yeah, it's from the Crypto Sparbook channel. Gift from Kyle.
the baby Ruth.
Yeah, yeah, baby Ruth
from the show. The dog's baby Ruth that was deposited.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So anyone who's not getting the reference,
video.
that's a Caddyshack reference with the baby Ruth floating around in the pool, and they clear the whole pool out, and they're cleaning it out. And oh gosh, what is his name? Come on, the actor, hilarious guy.
I'm gonna let you twist. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, that's right. I could not think of it to save my life for some reason. Bill Murray just picks it up. Oh, baby Ruth, and bites into it. And everyone's like, yeah, what is he doing? Yeah, it's a great movie. And so I've just so you know, Crypto King, I have already been in contact with both these people, and we'll see while in bed. I love it. So he's working on the back end. I'm trying to work on the front end, and we're just getting these people set up. So we got a big show for all of you guys. I'll try to remind me guys to announce it again at the end. We've got a gentleman with over 500,000 subscribers joining us on Friday. It is the Alaskan Prepper. So we would love for you guys to join us there, and hopefully we get some eyes on his community as well. So it's one that I'm really looking forward to. I used to be a overzealous prepper myself. So I have a lot of things to talk to this gentleman about. Hopefully we don't go on too long and bore too many people, but it really just goes back to the community that believes in depending on yourself, not depending on your government, being sovereign with your own money, with your own time, and not being beholden to or a slave or a sheep to the system. So, and he's a veteran as well, is what Crypto King says. So that's great. What time is it? It's game time. Huh. That's what time it is. No, it'll be our normal show on Friday night. So it'll be the 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. Then if you guys need to figure out the rest, you can figure it out.
KNTX, I got a question. Isn't the Crypto King's, constant firing of texts kind of like that part in the new Borat movie where he's faxing his stuff in? Why the hell isn't he on the stream and just speaking this stuff to us?
Right.
So much to say.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's so true. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the new Borat movie, but it's like 2-word sentences he's faxing off to whatever whatever that's supposed to be, whatever country that he's from.
Kazakhstan.
And then he's waiting for them to
Hey.
send
Hey,
answers
Peter.
back. What's up,
Hey,
Peter the
gang.
Gray?
How you doing?
Good.
All of you.
Where's your older brother Gandalf?
He's busy.
He's busy, huh?
Yeah. So what you guys talking about?
You.
Yeah.
Me?
It's funny you
not
just
from-
got
I'm
here.
not, I'm not from Kazakhstan. I'm
Oh.
so
How did you
I wanna
guys enjoy
Say
that
thank you for
pump
the
we've
followers
had?
we got over on the other platform. We got 36 on this one. So, sorry, go ahead there, Barely Crafty.
No, I wanted to mention that touching of 1.5 cents that happened yesterday. That was pretty epic. And I also wanted to cry on your shoulder a little bit about that another airdrop I missed, the tornado
You
thing.
and me both.
Oh,
you,
boy.
me
and
too.
me
Don't
both.
worry.
Oh, I feel much better now, guys.
Yeah,
Papa
me
B's
too.
quiet though. Okay.
No,
okay,
no.
this one.
No, I was worried that isn't Tornado Cash a mixer?
Yeah.
Yes, it sure is.
So I'm glad that I didn't do it because I don't want to be tainted by some kind of. I mean, I'm glad that all of our brothers and sisters have gotten the airdrop and they've used it, but I think that just this last year they declared in the United States that mixers were illegal. So I don't want that on my record.
Well, that's the thing is I've never needed to use it for anything in the past, and I wanted to play with it just to see what it was like, but I never wanted that tag because there's certain things like and I've seen an AMA with Alex Mashinsky on Celsius saying that any coins that have ever touched a mixer, they won't accept on their platform. They'll send them back to the address that was sent to them. And so that scares me because I'm like, well, I don't want that. I don't want someone to think I had bad intentions. It's a catch-22 because in reality, it's really just our sovereign money. We have rights to use that money how we wish, and it gets labeled just because they can't track it. Now it gets labeled as you're a bad actor and you're trying to do something malicious with it when no one knows what my bank account is. When I write you a check, Papa B, no one's looking at you're not able to look at my bank account when I write you a check. So
I'm sorry, I didn't receive that check yet. Is it still in the mail?
Yeah, it's got void in large letters written across the front of it.
Oh,
But
well, that's okay because that's the name on the account too, so no problem.
Well, we've got so you spoke too soon, Papa B. He's here to join us.
Crypto Kang in the house.
What's up, King? And he's off. And he's out.
Crypto.
Good
waste.
angle. Good angle.
Best angle.
Am I there?
Konnichiwa. Otomachi yo.
Hey, there you guys are.
Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Hey.
What's going on,
Beard is gone,
brothers?
Almost.
It's good to see you, man.
What are you up this late for? It's past your
I'm
bedtime.
It's coming in a bit choppy. Let me try.
You're coming in all Japanese.
Yeah, I mean I'll stay
He's
up.
turning Japanese.
Oh, and
Time different.
and done.
And
Well, he's at the Navy base, right? One of the Navy bases in Yokosuka or Yokota. I'll ask him.
Is
again.
that where it is?
I love him so much I don't even remember where he is. He's over. He's on my island. Arr.
All right.
There it is. It's a bit choppy. I don't know what's wrong with my connection right now, but
We've got
Yeah.
the
Sound okay.
second fastest network in the world, man, and you can't get a good connection.
I think all the connections I've been making. I think maybe the NSA is probably gatekeeping me now.
We've been making great connections on our end, so I appreciate that, man.
I'm so curious. How are you doing this? How do you have such width and breadth in the industry, and you're grabbing all these people that are coming onto
Man,
these
something's
shows?
wrong
You're
with
just
this.
doing such a great job. What's your secret? There's a
Just being
time
persistent. Just saying hello once in a while. Just saying hello on some of their tweets, replying to them, saying good morning to them once in a while, just so they could get familiar with my handle. And then, I just jump on people's live streams and just go in the chat box, and they'll shout out my name or, hey, what's up, Crypto King? And, they become more familiar with who I am. And then they just like the message and they like Hex.
Do you explain Hex to those people?
Is it coming through?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I meant the link. The link for letting other people come in. I apologize.
Basically, gentle approach, more than aggressive one.
Yes.
Seems to be working.
I like that.
Hey,
So we've
Kevin.
turned into Kevin. So we've turned into a community of bridge building instead of shouting down. But we've had to be so defensive for the first year. No, it's not a scam. Shut up unless you know what you're talking about, or bring some actual evidence to us about it. And we're not paid shills. So if you had real empirical evidence that this was a scam, every one of us here in this room right now would want to know that ahead of time. We'd want to look at that information for ourselves and say, okay, maybe this is not the investment for us. But we haven't found anything, and no one's provided any real evidence, just hearsay and their conjecture. And so now we're at the point where it's hard to speak it down, as there's been no rug pulls, there's been no, and it doesn't even matter. Even if there was a rug pull, it should be all community at this point in time that provides liquidity. So if any of you guys are willing to provide liquidity, so there's no such thing, yeah, and just stake it. That's the important thing. Right now, you shouldn't be selling anyway. The price is great, but it's not what it's going to be.
If we are all paid shills, then I'm waiting for my payment.
Yeah, right? 100%
I would love to know. If that was a scam, I would love to know, because, I'm getting out as soon as I can, which is like in 15 years, but as soon as I can.
As soon as I can. 15 years from now.
Well,
I've
you
entered
can
in. So good.
You can barely in 7.5 years. So.
Yeah, that's true.
According to your latest video, barely, that is true.
I mean,
Right?
principle. I'm worried about my interest. I would like to get my interest as well.
Mhm.
Who needs their interest? Come on.
Guys, I've entered into kind of the second chapter of having a debate with my friends that have come back to me, the ones that have not been converted to hexagons. Now they're coming back, and the pushback is, well, it's too late. It's too late. I mean, all the early guys are gonna be reaping all the benefits, just like every other project, and I gotta school them and say that this is designed to still have meat on the bone for everybody. And here's an example, right? Here's somebody that I talked to, and here's the math, and here's the this. Yes, you're not going to get, $1 million for, $20 or whatever it was way back in the day, but neither am I. And yet I'm still buying. So what do you think, right? It's really difficult. Are you guys finding that to be the next chapter as well?
Yeah, a little bit, not so much. I mean, I can honestly say that I personally am holding on. No financial advice is what I tell my friends. Do what's right for your risk tolerance, but I'm holding on for the next 100x. I mean, I see this going to $1, and Crypto Coffee said this, a couple months back, that he got into this with the intention that he knew at some point in some time in the future, maybe 2-3 years out, maybe 10 years out, that this hex was going to be worth $1 per hex. And really the question he asked himself was, how many millions of dollars do I want?
That's 100% the way I'm looking at it. I've hit a number I'm quite happy with, and then and then I work that out as a dollar amount. So when it hits $1, what that will be worth. And I think you can see at this stage at the moment, these early people, some of them are selling. The ones that will become ridiculously wealthy are the ones that are holding on. So I think probably a lot of us in here So there are people cashing in at the moment. There's people who cashed in like 6 months in, but
Yeah.
I think the people who hold on long term, obviously not financial advice,
Yeah.
will be the ones that be rewarded. And I think that will go through every stage. So when we hit 2 cent again, some people will sell. When we hit 10 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent, whatever it is, there's always going to be people cashing out. But I think that obviously the brilliant thing about Hex is the fact if you stake for 15 years, it kind of makes your mind for you. So you kind of get to make those gains because you said you're going to be in it for 15 years.
In that case, you don't hold Hex. Hex holds you.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
A baby.
And let's be clear, guys. I'm not hating on anyone, and hopefully no one else in here is either for taking profits. I mean, there was a opportunity cost that you took to get into this investment. If you got into Hex, it cost you the opportunity of getting into another coin, another stock, real estate. It cost you something to do so. So if you have the opportunity to pull out your initial investment, I don't think anyone should be berating anyone else. Now, know that it is possible that you might have just caught yourself or lost yourself some huge future gains if you pulled that money out to pay yourself back. But there's no shame in taking profits, guys. There's no shame in paying yourself back for the initial investment and being 100% playing on the house's money at that point.
I can wait
I have
$2
already done that.
for that comfortable stage.
You can wait.
Yeah, I can wait.
I think the thing about taking the profits for Hex, I think for me would be the most rewarding thing for me would be to see Richard Hart get the well-deserved recognition that he is coming for him.
Oh, I agree 100%. The guy is brilliant. Like, those who just yell scam have not done anything to look at the mechanics of how this works. This is phenomenal. I mean, it took us probably 6 to 8 to 9 months just to get a grasp on, the high level basics. And I'm not even a developer, so I haven't even got into the actual code itself. As farther than what smarter people than me have said that I trust, that I talk to in the back channels. But you look at that audit, the audits that were done on it, and the economics audit is a phenomenal resource. If someone has that link, if someone in the chat could just post that, I'll put that up on screen. If someone can find that for me real quick, that'd be great. I don't want to have 10 seconds of dead air or 15, 30 seconds of dead air me trying to track it down, but it is amazing the way that it works exactly as designed and the formulas.
You want both
sure.
audits?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I want the economics, not necessarily the chain audit. So yeah,
Okay.
not the mathematics, because unless you're a developer, that doesn't do you any good anyway.
I think the funny thing is that the kind of arguments that people throw at Hex are probably valid for most cryptocurrencies and most financial assets. So, like, it just makes me laugh. It's like people from the same community, like, saying things that are true about Bitcoin or true about Ethereum, and it's like, you're making an argument against cryptocurrency and most financial assets in the world.
Yeah, but it's the way of the crypto. You are in one crypto and you you throw shit at the other ones. It's like, I think Richard said one time that you basically root for your bag. It's nothing else. It's just this psychology.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you want your bags to pump so you can cash out, take some gains, and go find the next big pump that's coming. That seems to be and that's why RG touched on this last night. He's worried about the crypto space, and I understand why he's worried, because that is the degenerate gambler mindset, and more people lose that way than win. There's a few people that hit it big, and usually they have an influence, and they're the ones who are pre-running their community before they tell them about what they bought. So you guys have to keep that in mind. If you guys are getting your information if you're getting it from an influencer, they already have a bag of what they're about to show you on TV or on YouTube on their show. and I'll be the first to admit I'm exactly the same way. I'm talking about Hex right now because I have a bag of it, and I feel really confident about it. The difference between me and most other influencers, or this channel and other influencers, is I don't plan on getting rid of mine anytime soon. I mean, I thought I was going to spoil my wife and, take some profits and buy her a nice car. And then I just kept thinking about it, and we just got guilty. We're like, man, spending that kind of money on a vehicle just has never been our style. That's difficult to do. There's so much more in the way of gains to be had with Hex going forward, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, from the fundamentals that I'm seeing, and the price action, and the way that it's volatile like any other crypto, but then it just ratchets up the price every time. Like, I'm scared of the opportunity cost of cashing it out now for something frivolous and then missing the big gains later. So I'm restaking for longer. Everything that's ending right now, that I'm letting get right to the cusp of where it's about to start bleeding out, and then I'm finding cheap fees, and I'm setting my GUE low on the gas fee, and I'm just waiting a lot longer for the transaction to go through, and then restaking for longer.
Kevin, did you hear what he just said? He's staking his GUE low.
Yeah, he's taking his GUE low.
You understand what you just said, right?
I have no idea.
Is this some Japanese joke we don't understand?
No, it's Chinese and low wise.
Chinese or
It's a Cantonese. So GUE low in Cantonese means a Caucasian guy. So
my Caucasian guy. Yeah, that's right. There you go.
evil white man.
Yeah, evil looking white man.
I think I got cut off. I was trying to say something about one of the possible guests that are coming on. He's a comedian, and I think KNTX is already working that on the front end. But
Who is it?
Oh, we'll wait.
It's Ron.
Let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait, because I want to make sure.
Yeah. I want to hold off on that. But he's also connected to another YouTuber that has a very big show, and I went on there and I submitted a super chat, and I said, Hexagons, I want to invite you to the Discourse Syndicate, and the guy's wife, she's like, oh, Hexagons, I like that. So the significance of her reading that super chat is the person that we're already working on is directly connected to this YouTuber. So once we have a successful show with the guy that KNTX is already working on, then we bring in the big guy.
Yep.
So
I just don't want to set any expectations. I want to let you guys know once it's already done. So once we've already got them booked. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it a celebrity that we would have? Would we know them from the screen, large or small, or are they just kind of in the YouTube comedian type of category?
They're more well known in pop culture than we are. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
They got a bigger audience than we do.
Fair enough.
I think he's made some appearances on cable news. So
a cable news comedian.
Comedian that streams with his wife. And maybe not too.
You've said too much.
Probably. But yeah, it's just that easy. I mean, well, it's not too easy, but some of these people that I'm bringing on, I've known for years. I followed them for years. So they're kind of warming up to me because they're kind of familiar with me, with either sending them super chats or chatting with them on their live streams over the years.
Not a fly-by-night troll.
Yeah.
Like what I do.
Crypto coffee guessed exactly the person that I was gonna guess.
He said Bill
perfect.
effing Burr. Just
kidding. We are simpatico coffee. Yes, definitely.
I like what Give Me Liberty says here. I'm gonna have to post it. He's over in Theta, so I'll post it here. He said, if you had $100 million asset How much would you spend to protect it? Higher the fees, less chance of a hacker adding ETH to steal your stakes.
Wait a minute.
So that's a thought for you right there.
Oh.
Aaron Daniels, you nailed it. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Dude, Seinfeld's wife is hot. I guess she used to be.
So, I mean, the point really being with his message here is that if you, how much would you be willing to spend to protect $100 million? That's really the point. Would you be willing to spend $300 to end stake it? Would you be willing to spend $150 for a hardware wallet? So that
KNTX, what does insurance cost on $100 million asset? Because that's what I would pay for that.
I don't know anyone. I guess there's Nexus Mutual or something. Whatever Celsius is using, I guess, is actual real insurance, not what the Nexo and the BlockFi guys are using. But
Lloyd's of London would do that probably. They'd underwrite.
They probably,
yeah.
Actually, I think that's who they do it through. And I think they have $100 million, but I don't know what their premium is for that, because that every risk category has its own premium, its own rate assigned per thousand. So it costs so much per $1,000 worth of insurance, and I don't know what the rate would be for something like that.
Get out your calculator, insurance man.
I have no idea what the rate would be. If I had the numbers, I could calculate it, man. But I'll bet it costs them millions of dollars a year for their $100 million of insurance.
I have a question though about the insurance thing. Doesn't it mean that you would have to give away your keys? Because if you still have your private keys, you might lose them. Someone might get to them, or you just might give those keys to someone to steal your crypto. So that would mean that you go into an insurance company and you are setting up a completely new wallet that you do not know the private keys to, and only they know those private keys, and they can safely insure that wallet, the crypto on that wallet, because they know for sure that only they possess the private keys. Wouldn't that have to work this way?
But then you can have a voting accident, right?
But do you trust the $15 an hour employee that writes down your seed
that's
phrase?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That like the insurance, I don't think it's for crypto.
Okay, I think you should watch the movie Double Indemnity and see about insurance fraud and where that ends you up, and how they can really investigate your boating accident and see if you really did have it, and then you're really screwed, right? You're out your money and you're also in jail.
Yeah, and that's one of those white collar crimes that they do not take lightly. That's almost as bad as stealing from your government in the form of not paying your taxes. They will come for you for it, because those guys that you just stole money from through false insurance claims are the same guys that pay for these guys to get into office. So they have an interest to protect these guys.
No, that's what I meant. That's for insurance company to agree to insure crypto, they would have to be in possession of private keys. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for them.
I don't think so.
No.
I think that they would have to just see that you had it, in a vault, and you're managing your own thing. Then they would write up the policy. They would weigh the chances of it falling into the wrong hands. They see your security posture wasn't very good, and then they would weigh correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your game, right? But they could write the policy up basis on the chance, plus the other subscribers to such a policy as well, and weigh the options of whether one of them or many of them would actually have to claim. Is that the way it works or not?
Well, so insurance is a risk pool. So what they do is they literally take premiums from a pool of people to protect over the same risk, and then they hope that that they don't have to pay out more than 60%. Usually about 60% of what they collect in total premiums is about where they're profitable. Anything, if their loss ratio is anything less than 60-70%, they're usually making money. If it's anything more than that, after admin fees and all the other costs it takes to file for all the filings and everything else that it takes with insurance, they're usually in the red at that point. So
And then they put
Barely
it-
risky would be a bad risk.
No,
yes,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I think you misunderstood me a little bit. What I'm saying is, by the time you're getting to insure your 100 million, those funds may be already compromised. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Like years back. That's what I'm saying. But that they never
Yeah.
know. When you're insuring a house, they can come and see, okay, the house is intact. When you're insuring a car, they say, okay, the car is fine. When you bring them crypto, they have no idea. Do you have the crypto for real, or you just think you have those 100 millions? That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
that's a clever way to think about it. Because if you're just hodling for years on end, you may not know for years that you've even been compromised, that those funds have
You're
been moved
broke.
out of that wallet. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
That's
know of
correct.
any banking products where anyone is willing to sit there and monitor that. Every month they go in and make sure those funds are still in your wallet so that you can still be insured. I mean, maybe that's a market for someone to create out there, but I don't know of anything that exists to this day that would cover that.
Yeah.
Crypto King, I would love to ask you just real quick. I just want to throw this out there. Everybody's asking to know more about your backstory, and then we've even got Crypto Coffee asking about the artwork behind you and the story behind that. So, someday when you have a good connection, man, let's have that discussion. Let's have you on here, and we'd love to hear your background and what brought you into Hex, and we'll go forward from there because there's a lot of people asking for it in the chat. So you got to give the people what they want, not just good interviews. So.
There's a bad connection in Japan. Is that
That's the
possible?
crypto thing, yeah, because we got, like I said, we got the second fastest network on the earth. So, Crypto King, if you can't get on your Wi-Fi or you're sharing a Wi-Fi with other bros, I don't know what you're doing, but maybe get on your smartphone and get on Docomo or KDDI or whatever your AU. It won't take much bandwidth just to kind of come back and answer those questions real quick and be like where we can see you and hear you nicely. That was really great to see you.
He's probably
Yeah, we're
behind
here.
like 5 firewalls and 7 VPNs. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Anyone want to touch this one real quick? Anyone want to? And I don't mean touch Big Pep. I just mean touch on his question.
I wanted to actually mention Crypto Sparbuch interview with Kyle, the latest one, because I've learned something I was wondering about, but I never had like the exact number. Did you catch that? Or maybe you all knew that already. The amount of gas required to end a 15-year stake. And Kyle said that they've calculated it to be 8 million gas. And just
What?
8 million gas
8 million
for a
way?
15-year stake.
Wait,
No.
No, there's
8
gas
million
and there's Gwei. There's
And
a
Gwei.
difference between the two.
At 100 Gwei per gas,
Not Gwei low. Sorry.
currently, like
way high.
if you would like to run that transaction for 8 million gas at 100 Gwei, it would cost you 0.8 ETH.
Wow.
Okay.
Just because we were talking about like the amount of
Hey, thanks, Barely,
heads
for
you would like to.
Hey, Barely, thanks for just footing everyone out of the project. We'll see you later. Have a good day.
I'm not saying that to FUD. Come on.
I mean, that's
I was
going to be a
wondering-
lot when ETH is like 20 grand in 15 years time.
I'm just saying that to like maybe rethink the strategy about the ETH because I've went from one side to another. Like, oh no, I'm not saving up ETH. I'll just save for one transaction, then I'll buy some ETH from my stakes. And now that made me actually think that I might take a portion of my interest and put that towards ETH to be on a safer side because the
That's
value
wise.
of ETH will keep going up. Maybe the transaction fees will not be as high in 5, 10, 15 years, but just in case, I don't think we will hurt or like regret having some extra ETH in the future if we won't need it. But
I think
in case
I think you're right, but let's do this list of hypotheticals real quick here, and we'll come back because I think it kind of touches on this comment here in the chat right here, and I'll come back here in just a second. But let's touch on that for a second. So you have a stake worth $5 million in 15 years. Are you willing to mortgage your house on a second mortgage to get the 20,000 to get one ETH that cost $25,000 at that time to unstake your $5 million stake? Are you willing to do that? Because I think if you have that economic energy, if you have that sitting there, I'm sure you could find an actor that you could say, hey, guys, this stake is worth $5 million, but I don't have the 20 grand it's going to cost to unstake it. How about you give me a $20,000 loan and I'll pay you 10% interest and I'll pay it back in 30 days. And a lot of people will take that. So yeah, sure, you can pay me $2 grand to borrow $20,000 for the next 30 days. So there's other ways. I would like to, get creative, guys. Think outside the box. How would you end those high dollar stakes? Because that is a great point that Barely Crafty is making. If it does cost 0.8 of a $25,000 stake, that's $20,000 total. If ETH is 25,000 and it costs 0.8 ETH to get it out of the contract. I mean, think about that for a second, guys. That's something hodling some ETH might be a smart idea at this point.
Yeah, I would even
ETH
take it
2
one
is
step
not
further.
yet,
It's not yet.
live.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
I would
15
take it-
years. That's possible.
Crafty, how about Operation Get Gas? Like you go for every conceivable platform. You can hodl ETH, Cardano, Matic, and DOT. You just have a little bag of everything in case of any permutation or combination of things that would happen in the future. You always got your gas to get off of get your stakes and staked in 15 years. So
I
just
mean,
get a little bit of everything.
If we've all got staking adders, it should be fine anyway, because we'll be wealthy by that point anyway. So by the time
So-
like 10-year comes along,
It's a
you know.
bigger issue for those who are like hollow whales or hollow sharks who just like threw a huge amount out there and there is no ladder, there is nothing in between. It might be a bigger surprise for them, like to come up with the amount.
I think that over time though, with Hex, if you've done that, say you throw out a really big stake for 15 years and you were watching the interest come in and it's consistent, at some point you're probably going to start buying more, like, because nothing else you probably own is going to make the same return. So it's like, I'm going to throw more money into this over time.
Before I forget, I also wanted to mention one thing about onboarding, because I had a slight success lately. My friend who was very hesitant, he needed to hear one success story about airdrop, and now all of a sudden, when he learned also that there might be a MetaMask airdrop at some point in the future, which is not guaranteed, of course, but that made him wanna. Okay. So let's do. I'll throw some money towards Hex, and while we do that, I'll do some 5 swaps or 5 transactions in 5 different wallets, and if that works, then I will be able to pull out my interest way sooner than I expected. So I was just thinking, if you are onboarding someone, just a suggestion, there might be there is a. It's not a guarantee, but there might be an airdrop. So maybe you want to do a few extra swaps, because historically those airdrops were worth this much and this much, and we've had 3-4 of those already. And there are a lot of rumors about MetaMask ones. So it's not guaranteed. You must just. It might be a waste of fees totally, but maybe it's good.
Here's why I think there's a good likelihood that MetaMask is going to do it. Because all these airdrops that have just been done are billion-dollar projects overnight. And if you can keep even 20% of the coins that you're minting and giving to people, I mean, you've got $200 million. So I think it will happen, because there's too much of a financial incentive for them to not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm certain that sooner than later it will happen, but I cannot go towards my friend and say it will happen. Do
No,
this,
yeah.
do that, it will happen. You have to say
We don't know with certainty.
Exactly.
And if someone does know with certainty, please get me some documents to prove it so we can present it to the rest of the community. But
so I can get
think
some more wallets.
one thing, yeah, exactly. One thing I put in dude, I'll go take a $20,000 loan right now just to run it through 1,000 different addresses and then have nothing left to show after it's done, and just hope that MetaMask drops a drops a token or something at that point, but that's a lot of time and a lot of money invested to try to hit some of these. I mean, if we'd known about like Uniswap or 1inch back when ETH was cheap and it was cheap to transact in, that would have been the time to do it, or Tornado.cash. But nobody knew that this was going to happen. So
1 cent transactions. Oh,
I know. Remember 1 cent
Good old days.
transactions.
The good old
Like,
days.
remember? Do you guys remember back in January, like 13 months ago, when you went to go make a transaction and the slow, medium, and fast were all 1 cent? You're like, I guess I'll pick fast for the same price as the slow. Yeah, I
There's-
miss those days.
It's like remembering
I
your
may-
first kiss.
If I may add something else to the possible airdrop thingy scenario.
I suppose I'll allow it.
Thank you. if you are already past onboarding someone, your good friend, right? Maybe just like, and you didn't mention it before, and they already have seen some gains. You know that they've seen some gains. You might like hit them up and say like, the Hex is doing good, right? You're happy with Hex. By the way, you might want to throw like $40, $50 for a transaction, for a chance, for a lucky chance, because you've earned those already. So you're in the green. If you want, you might try and get lucky over here as well.
Yep.
And imagine how much more happy they will be, how much more grateful they will be if it actually works. Of course, it depends on your certainty whether it will happen or not, but yeah, I'm doing that. I'm hitting up those guys I've onboarded before and letting them know. I know
Smart.
transaction fees sucks, but you're in the green. You're not losing anything.
The average Tornado.cash airdrop was $6,000. Is it worth the $200 transaction fee to make $6,000? That's up to you. That's totally no financial advice. That's what's best on your time horizon and your risk tolerance, but hey, it might be worthwhile for you guys to do it.
But first, what we're winning here is we get extra gratitude from people we have onboarded because thanks to us, thanks to information, they get more funds. Guess where those funds will end up? Take a lucky guess where those funds from airdrops will go.
So some of the people that I've onboarded, that's exactly what we did. I called them up later and said, hey, did you guys hear about the Uniswap airdrop? No? Oh, you haven't claimed that yet? Great. Let me show you how to get an extra $5,000 worth of Hex, and we can stake it for Cuatro Cinco, and it's like free money.
There is a real chance for a snowball effect here with the airdrops for us.
I agree. So here's the thing. I said this in the Cutthroats room because I missed 1inch because the fees were higher to transact on, so I missed 1inch. I didn't think they were going to do, and even after everyone started talking about it, like, I'll get to that, and I just didn't have the funds because I just YOLO'd everything into all my gains back into Hex and staked it for big payday. And so I didn't really have a lot liquid at that point in time. I just hadn't, none of my stakes had ended or anything. So that was just out of laziness and because let's be honest, guys, getting these airdrops is a time commitment. You got to take the time to get it all set up and make sure you have the funds and process the transaction, make sure it goes through, send to the next wallet, do it again. So I missed that one. I missed Tornado.cash because I just didn't want to transact anonymously yet. At this point in time, I didn't see a need to do so. But I said in the Cutthroats channel, anytime Richard says, hey, Hex is available on this platform now, you bet your ass I'm running to it. So I am going to be, anytime he says, hey, this is available for Hexicans now, man, I'm on it because everything that he's mentioned so far has had an airdrop. Everything that he says that we can participate in being on top of Ethereum.
And while we are on the subject of Richard Hart being always right, I don't know if you remember the tweet where he mentioned, no, I'm not talking about MetaMask airdrop. And anyways, I would just airdrop it per seed, not per address. So keep that in mind. That because of that, I'm using actually a separate seed for each wallet. I'm not doing like addresses underneath.
Do you think MetaMask will go into that?
That's what Richard Hart said.
Okay.
In his tweet, that they should. He said they can just like airdrop it per seed, not per
when was
address.
that tweet?
It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Did the tweet start, "Dear Barely Crafty"?
I will look it up for you guys. I will look it
I
up.
appreciate that. So I want to touch back on this because I said I would. I said I'd come back to it. So if Ethereum does convert to proof of stake, how does the chain stay secure from bugs? Well, the developers aren't going anywhere, man. They're not releasing any code. They're running dual chains right now with a cross between bridge to make sure that they don't have these bugs. So the developers are working on that. And then if that happens, how do we pick Hex up and set it down on top of a different protocol? It would be unwise to do so. All the economic energy is on Ethereum right now. You know, there's talk of let's drop it on Cardano. You want to drop it on an untested, well, overly tested, unfunctionable blockchain that's never run a smart contract before. Nah, I don't think that's a wise idea. Not to mention, if we're going to do any kind of airdrop, honestly, what I would like to see is every hexagon that is staked right now have a system airdrop to all the different smart contract chains. That would be ideal to me. All at one time, boom, anything that runs Solidity, now you've got a duplicate of your stakes on all those chains as well. But only to those who are staking, because those are the real hexagons that have decided that they are going to do exactly what the contract said or was designed to do, and it's in the best interest of all the other stakers and the rest of the community. That's just my opinion. I'm just some pleb.
When those stake mature, then you will sell those tokens for Hex for those tokens of that network, convert it to ETH, and
Come up the normal.
yeah, let's destroy all the other chains.
Yeah.
I like this idea. Yeah.
I really like that idea, because then there's economic energy for hexagons on every chain. And then it gives the people who are crying about fees and transactions, okay, then you can go transact on the poor man's blockchain chain known as Tron. Go ahead, go do it. There's no money over there. Just a bunch of gamblers' money. That's about the only money that's there. So, and go ahead, go play with it. You've got Hex there now.
Well, I think that's a straw man argument. Tron is not the contender to be one of those chains right now. So why don't you rejigger that comment to address one of the more prominent hopefuls for a contender? I want to hear you say that.
That's the one I hear from all the guys that watch certain DeFi channels, and they do all the DeFi degenerate hourglass games that end up wrecking 90% of the users. That's where all of the guys that are coming from there that are in Hex, that's where they all want it to go. They all want it to go to Tron. They all want it to to Tron. And I don't
they got a big bag of Tron.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't think that's a wise idea.
It's not going to happen. But there are others though. You've been thinking about it. I mean, we can't just. Yep.
I think Big Pep's got it here.
I agree with Pep right there.
I do too.
Exactly.
I agree. I think Polka is going to be the big one, and it may get dropped on like a Kusama or something like that. But here's the way Motley said this to me in private the other day, and I hope I'm not divulging too much, Motley, in our discussion. But Motley and I were discussing that why Kusama is just supposed to be essentially a test network for Polkadot. Yep. So why invest in Kusama when you could just invest in the live network, the actual Polkadot, and it's cheaper right now?
Well, no, because Kusama is the gateway to all the parachains, right? They have to be tested first on Kusama. They have to go there first.
But if it's going to get tested there and it passes the smell test and gets moved to Polka, why not already be sitting on Polka?
You know, it's maybe a give and take. One is going to be more popular while they're actually coming on board and sussing it out, and then eventually when they all move to the Polka, net, then that'll be more popular too. I think that'll ebb and flow for a while at least until all the spaces in the hubs and the spokes are all filled up, and then it's all Polka, right?
Yep. So going back to the original comment, Big Pep has a point here that all contracts will migrate to ETH2 automatically. So if ETH2 works as designed, as it's supposed to, and it makes transactions faster and cheaper, there's no reason to move off of Ethereum. Number 2 market cap right now. Number 2 market cap. All the economic energy and all the real DeFi is in Ethereum right now. And institutional players will come over to Ethereum. Just wait. When they realize that this digital gold narrative of Bitcoin and that it's a
Bitcoin.
inflation bug riddled unmodulated spaghetti code, some of these guys, once they start to actually do their homework, might say, oh crap, well, we'll keep what we got on the books, but we're not buying any more of this.
I think the smart ones are the smart institutions already are, in ETH.
Show your screen, Barely Crafty. Show your screen. Show me your address, or you are a scam.
I'm not sure. Can you put me in like on a main like for a second?
Just kick all of us.
I don't know how to do that.
Kick
sir.
all of us.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, kick them. Yeah, there you go. That's the tweet. And it was after the poll. He asked how many accounts you have in MetaMask, and that was the response. So
I don't remember seeing that. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I haven't seen that either.
So I appreciate you pointing that out. I don't remember seeing that. And when
my pleasure.
And I get notifications for all of his tweets in Telegram.
Yeah, I think that you made that one up, Crafty.
Yeah, your Photoshop skills are on point, bro. Photoshop skills are on point.
Thank you.
I have a question. And Crafty, do you think that means that if you use a hardware wallet, because that is its own seed, does that mean that it's its own seed for this airdrop? Based on this tweet?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's the answer, right? You can have the same MetaMask.
But if you're just doing multiple wallets, hoping for airdrop, you don't need a hardware wallet for each one of them. You can just use, separate instances of MetaMask or different browsers or different profiles in a browser. Just to
that's a nice thing about Chrome is that you can have 25 different users profiles that you just log into, and then just put a MetaMask on each one of those. But I like it better on the wallet, better than to the seed. I mean, I know now we know how Richard would do it, but
but when airdrop lands, obviously you're not keeping those funds in those wallets, right? And they end up on the hardware wallet. But until the airdrop is there, it's perfectly fine. It's just like it's just a bet. It's just a ticket, lottery ticket.
Yes.
Have all these other airdrops actually done it to the wallet? I think they have. They haven't done it to the seed.
No, you have.
Because I got Uniswap was to the wallet, not to
Guys,
the
remember Richard Hart.
Yes, you're right.
So.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do what you gotta do. You do you.
I still don't know of any tool
I'm setting a separate freaking seeds for every single one.
I'm gonna have to do some research, or I'm gonna have to ask people smarter than myself. And if any of you guys understand the backside better, or the backside of the coding for Ethereum wallets better than I do, then I'd be interested in hearing what your guys' perspective on that. Because as what little I know, I should say, I don't know of any tool that you can just aggregate addresses under one seed phrase and then just drop. Then which address gets the airdrop if they're all linked to one seed phrase?
Maybe the first one, the main one. There is the default one.
I don't know.
One of those addresses is the first one. So.
Look at that.
I like his point. He's got a great point. We are in Hex. We get an airdrop every day. As long as you're the staker class, that is a true statement. Yeah. That boomer, he just doesn't remember things when you tell him. I didn't say it wasn't this week I wouldn't be running the show. I told him it'd be next Tuesday. And he went ahead last night and announced I wouldn't be here this morning. So, hey, whatever.
Yeah, I was surprised
what it is.
when I got the link. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, and that's why our
KNTX abandoned his
is
family for us. Wow.
You guys mean so much to me.
I don't believe
divorce papers are in the mail.
Where's my check?
Yeah, right.
So for you, it's a wife-changing opportunity, right?
I guess so. Not by choice. Not by choice. So, I love the beautiful woman that I am married to. So hopefully she's willing to endure this for a little longer and hold on to me.
For 15
So do
years,
I. I love the woman you're married to.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
But you are in Japan. How do you do it?
I would
It's a
expect
long distance
cat
relationship.
flying towards Papa Boner across the room like. After that comment.
That's
Bring one of your wife's pussies across the
Yeah, well, I got one right here. my surrogate.
Always has at least one.
Yep, it's the only one I'm ever gonna get for since I get that comment out, right?
I love it. That's great. Well, you guys, I appreciate it. We're at 142 followers on the THETA platform.
Oh my goodness.
About halfway there. Halfway there. We need 300, guys. We need 300. So any of you guys who are here on YouTube right now, but before you do that, before you go create your account and follow us on Discourse, please, by all means, hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you're notified every time a new video pops up. Well, I guess I like you guys, but I don't know if I like you guys enough to stay on here with you all day.
Yes,
Been already
actually.
1 hour.
Yeah.
I know.
How is that possible?
Oh, Big Pep says, laugh out loud, wife ladder.
It descends in terms of age, though, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
Trustless
I appreciate
wife ladder.
Yeah. I appreciate all you guys. I got to get to work. Since I'm going to be missing a couple days of work next week to take my daughter to the children's hospital, I probably better get something accomplished today. But don't forget us here, guys, on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow us on Theta, and really look forward to seeing the rest of you guys later. And then just keep in mind, tomorrow night, we have the Alaskan Prepper on for the FN Hangout. And if he doesn't stay on for too long, we'll allow some of you degenerate cutthroats to come on too. So I appreciate all you guys. And until then, we're out.
Stay your